friends, today I've got some really good news. So, the Azov Brigade is back on the front lines. The legendary Special Purpose Brigade Azov has resumed its operations and started carrying out combat attacks in the Serebranka area. So the fighters of Azov are holding their positions and inflicting losses on the enemy in personnel and equipment. Also, something very positive for Ukraine. So Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania have joined the G7 security guarantees for Ukraine. So this was announced by the Prime Minister of Estonia, Kaja Kallas. And now 19 countries have joined their declaration approved at the NATO summit. So, by the way, do you remember our recent discussion about India? Well, India plans to buy grain at a discount from Russia, according to Reuters. So, as the publication states, the import will allow India to lower wheat prices, which had reached a 15-month high amid inflation in July. And also, China has unveiled a new kamikaze drone, which is an improved version of the Shahed, as reported by Defense Express. Remember the Russian forum? Well, all the Russian Army 2023 forum, China introduced its new kamikaze drone, the Sunflower 200, developed by an undisclosed Chinese company. So overall, this aerial vehicle externally and in general characteristics replicates the Iranian Shahed 136. However, the Chinese drone has a take-off weight of only 175 kilograms, while the Iranian one weighs 240 kilograms. So presumably this allows the drone to take off vertically. So, and now let's move to our map and see what we have. So, in the direction of Kupiansk, the occupants continue their offensive actions in the area of Sinkivka. In the area of Sinkivka. However, the Ukrainian forces are successfully holding their defense and conducting counterattacks, so the Russians haven't achieved any successes. And also today there is a significant amount of shelling on Kupiansk. The occupants are conducting artillery preparations in the hope of breaking through and capturing a major railway station here, which they need for further advances into Ukrainian territory. And let's move to the Svatove direction. And in the Svatove area, the occupants are only conducting shelling, attempting to locate and destroy Ukrainian forces' equipment. However, no offensive actions are being carried out, and the front line remains unchanged. And in the Kremina and Siversk area, the situation with Chalon remains unchanged. The occupants continue their artillery preparation, and there is a possibility that they will release another batch of mobile groups for a breakthrough in the near future. And as we can see, there have been no changes along the front line in this direction for quite some time, and the chances of a breakthrough for the Russians are minimal. So, in the Bakhmut direction, the occupants have resumed their offensive actions towards Bogdanivka, managing to advance 2 kilometers from the front line in the hope that the Ukrainian forces won't eliminate them. However, our units are maintaining control and preventing the occupants from solidifying their new positions and bringing in reserves. Overall, the situation in the entire Bakhmut direction has stabilized. There are no major breakthroughs, and the Ukrainian forces have temporarily halted their assault operations, engaging in artillery shelling. And in the Avdiivka direction, the Ukrainian forces are achieving positive results in destroying Russian forces. Although the occupants continue their attack, they are no longer occurring on the outskirts of Avdiivka. So, but near the highway, maybe here. So today the occupants are unable to advance even into the forest. And the Ukrainian forces control the entire territory and are successfully dismantling advancing enemy groups. And despite this, the Russians continue to actively shell the entire front line. And in the Marinka area, offensive actions and shelling are ongoing. However, as before, the Russians haven't achieved any success and the front line remains unchanged. So, okay. After the Urozhaina, the Ukrainian forces didn't cease their operations to prevent the occupants from bringing in new reserve. They promptly dispatched several units toward the Staromlinivka here. As of now, it is evident that they have successfully penetrated about 1 kilometer along the road. And active combat is ongoing in that area. The occupants are making efforts to halt the advancement of our forces, employing intensified shelling and attempting to destroy the military equipment. And similar battles are also occurring in the area near Zapovidne Bazhanya, where Ukrainian forces are maneuvering closer to the village to squeeze out the occupants. Meanwhile, occupants continue their shelling of Staromayorsk and Urozhaine and other liberated settlements. However, it's apparent that the Ukrainian forces are progressing forward effectively, aiming to breach multiple defense lines swiftly, thereby allowing more equipment to be deployed and initiating a breakthrough onto greater depth. So, following this trend, panic might ensue among the occupants, leading to their retreat and a symbolic gesture of goodwill, as has happened before. And in summary, the situation progressing as described. So, in the Zaporizhia direction, there is also great news. Here, the Ukrainian forces managed to successfully down a Ka-52 helicopter using a MANPADS system in the Robotyne area. So, according to soldiers from the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade, the chopper was destroyed approximately at 8 a.m. in the vicinity of Robotyne, Zaporizhia direction. So, our fighters have now permanently grounded the Ka-52. The cost of such one is $16 million. So in total, the Ukrainian forces have eliminated around 50% of the fleet of Ka-52 attack helicopters, and the remaining number is approximately 65 out of 133 units. But it's evident that the advantage lies with Russia here, because they are covering their groupings with aviation and artillery. However, despite the absence of aviation in the Ukrainian forces, they are actively destroying Russian helicopters and continuing to move forward for the liberation of Ukrainian territory. And currently, only tactical battles are ongoing in the Robotyne area, and no new assault operations has been initiated, so the front line remains unchanged. Conversely, the Russians are conducting only shelling along the entire front line. So, and let's move to our final point, is Kherson direction. So, in the Kherson direction, shelling along the entire front line continues for now. However, there are no new movements of our units on the left bank, and the situation can be described as stable. So, and these are our news. Thank you for watching and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.